Tangier 57, the minstrels of psychedelic elevator music, are in the house tonight with a champagne twist. Ely Greenstone delivers solid opportunities for public art, extreme woodturning, and more. That's the playlist tonight.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
On the edge of the big woods, Ely goes big for the arts. Theater, music, visual arts, it's all there. And one of the group's building arts opportunities in Ely is here to fill us in. Now, Sandy Brandley, thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
And Bob Meidel, yes, Meidel, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's the big question. Ely Greenstone Public Art, what's it all about?
Ely Greenstone Public Art is a group of people who got together to help provide art to children, to adults, and to the general public. So we provide programs for both kids and adults, and then we also promote community art projects, and we also try to support many other artists who have already made their mark.
It's a big deal, and it's important now probably more than ever.
It is no art in the schools anymore, and we try to fill that void. We also do some art ourselves for the community, murals in Ely.
Okay, and you said you were a potter as well.
I am, and my biggest accomplishment this past year, this past week, was to complete the children's art camp at the Miners Dry. And we had 50 children there who came to experience doing stepping stones, painting, ceramic tiles. They just did so much, and they loved every minute of it. It was just wonderful.
That's really cool. Now, Bob, I have to talk to you about big. When I was talking about big things, I think the Arts and Heritage Center is kind of one of the big projects that Ely Greenstone has taken on.
Yeah, that's the main thing I'm involved in right now. My role is to try and raise money to help work on that facility. Pioneer Mine has been abandoned since 1967, and the city of Ely and different people have taken steps to preserve part of it. We still have 3 buildings left. We have the Miners Dry, which is the place where the miners would dry their clothes at the end of the day. We have the Shaft House, which is the house at the top of the shafts where the miners and the ore would come up. And then we also have the Captain's Dry, which is a building that is in dire need of, it's getting to a point where we're either going to have to tear it down or preserve it. And so this entire site we're trying to turn into an arts and heritage center. Throughout the summer already on Tuesday afternoons we're going to have the heritage aspect open in the Shaft House, and so if you're in Ely on Tuesday you can stop in and actually see a display of the mine itself. The Miners Dry has been preserved, and that is where we have our art classes. Huge building, 150 feet long by 50 feet wide, where we have different activities in there. That's been preserved.
So is this all grant-driven, donation-driven? How do you even, I mean, when I said dream big, this is a big undertaking.
That is, grants are our primary source. We also raise money through Greenstone through our efforts there. We have donations. We have a volunteer group that's coming on board. We have people that support us in a lot of ways, but it is, because the money is so tight, it's really what we need. As an example, just to stabilize the Captain's House is about $200,000 to put a roof, windows, and doors on that thing.
And it's on the National Register of Historic
The
Places.
whole site, yes.
So hopefully that'll help you. Okay, Sandy, so we were talking about art camps, and we do have some pictures of art camp and some pretty happy and proud kids who participated. It was just last week?
It was this week.
This
we
week.
Finished on Wednesday afternoon. And so we had 50 children who came, and there were 8 different art activities. Some stretched over 2 days, some were completed in just 1 day. But the children got to the point that on the 3rd day, when they got out of their cars and were coming towards the door, it wasn't just walking, they were running to the building, which was wonderful to see.
And we talked about the challenges for the budgets in the school districts, making art even more important in the other places you can find it.
Yes, it has been very difficult, and we are extremely grateful to the Donald G. Gardner Humanities Trust for providing us with money for tables and for chairs and for some other things. We've also had some wonderful donations from the Arrowhead Arrowhead Regional Arts Council, and so we've gotten some nice funding from those organizations and from some others, and so that has been very, very important.
It does take a community to do community art,
Yes,
which
it
is
does.
pretty cool. But tell me a little bit about the juried art show coming up. Bob, I don't know, as a snow sculptor, I don't know if you have anything in the summertime juried art show, but it's pretty neat stuff.
No, I'm not participating as an artist, but I am there to help serve food. We have a big gala event that kicks that off. Big fundraiser for Greenstone in particular, but it also, one of the things we've done with the show this year is we've extended the days. We have an opportunity for artists to present their work and sell their work, so professionals can make some money also. Make art, you can make a living doing art.
Yeah, which is a big challenge for a lot of people. So what kind of response did you get when you said, okay, we're doing a juried art show? You know,
We've had great response from the community and from artists, as we've had Canadian artists come down and exhibit their work. I don't honestly know the number of artists, but I believe it was about 37 or 38 artists last year, and we're expecting a similar number this year. The cost of the gala that first night is $30 a person, and we also have the Taste of Ely, so all of the area restaurants bring in their specialty, and we offer those, and then people have an opportunity to just walk around and look at the art.
what a great way to toast the arts.
Yes.
And what a neat service in the community. So thank you guys.
Fun.
Yeah, thank you both, and I wish you all good things with the juried art show and with your future endeavors with Ely Greenstone.
Thank you.
And safe travels on the way back. So
Thank you
thanks
very
for
much.
making the trip. You bet. Now, just a reminder, the juried show and sale opens with a little wine gala on July 23rd, and the show is up and open for about a week. Now, in the playlist gallery tonight is the work of Sean Thompson. He's a Duluth photographer with a passion for color and movement. Sean will have a booth at the Park Point Art Festival this weekend, and he'll be among 70 artists with work on display. The festival also includes music, make and take projects for kids, and treats. The Park Point Art Fair goes from 10 to 5, both Saturday and Sunday. Now, Marva Harms of Pengelly and art supporters in Hibbing are preparing for a new exhibit at the county courthouse. The show is part of a series geared toward making art more visible and accessible in the community.
We have a display here at the courthouse. It's going to run for 7 weeks. It's called 4 Grand Exhibits. Arts in the Courthouse, which stands for Arrowhead Regional Talent Series. Any place we can display artwork in town is a good idea.
It's about another opportunity for giving the public some exposure to not only some quality top-shelf art of local artists, but to perhaps inspire them themselves to maybe get involved in art and or to visit art when they travel elsewhere, and to share the experiences with their families and with school children, and just improve everybody's quality of life.
Marva Harms is an impressionistic painter. She works in oils and acrylics. She also teaches workshops, including a plein air class starting July 9th. You can find out more about Marva Harms on her website, and her exhibit at the county courthouse opens Tuesday, July 5th in Hibbing. Now, he's giving a whole new meaning to the wood-turning world. Terry Hallback carves out beautiful forms with amazingly fine lines. To see him work is to watch a master in action.
It's an exploding art form. It's changing really fast. There's always something new. Somebody comes up with some different idea, and it's really unique. My name's Terry Hallback, and I do wood turning, mainly hollow forms. I use mainly birch because we have a lot of it, and it's a nice turning wood, and it's a pretty clear wood. It doesn't have a lot of figure in it, and I don't want a lot of figure. I want to do my embellishing on it. So I like wood turning. It's a gentle woodworking. Yeah, you want a nice even curve without a lot of lines in it. This is the part that took me a while to get because you have to figure out where the form is going to end up at the bottom. I like a small foot. It looks a lot more delicate. Okay, now I think I'm going to shut the lights off. The reason I have the light on the tool, I can gauge the thickness of the wood by the light coming through it. I've been doing these since about 2003, I think. It's kind of a process. I'm still learning a lot as I go. And that's about it. This is what it's like when it comes off the lathe. I try and make some of them look like glasswork instead of woodwork. These sit a long time sometimes before I figure out what I'm going to do with them. I'll have them sitting out here, and every once in a while I'll look at them and trying to see would look good on it. And up to a few years ago, they didn't color wood. It was on wood turnings. It was a no-no to put any color on the wood turning, and now it's just exploded. I started out, I love wood, but I love color, and so I try and incorporate both of them into all my work. But now when I look at a piece of wood, it looks so much better colored. It just adds so much to it. Once I started turning, I just got hooked. It's almost like a disease. It's like when you're at the lathe, it's so relaxing. I just make what I want and enjoy doing. So I've got it made. I'm really lucky.
Terry and other Lake Superior wood turners are doing some public demonstrations in Superior this summer. They'll install a show at Superior's North End Art Gallery at the historic Trade and Commerce Building, and the show opens Friday, July 15th, 5 to 7. Demonstrations are at the Broadway Community Gardens on Saturday, July 23rd. There's more information online at superiorctfa.org. That's the website of the Superior Council for the Arts. And now, a 1 and a 2 and a... It's time for more Tangier 57.
Something to prove. I'm quick to temper and I long to cool. Please grant me wisdom in these times of trouble. Help push me forward into new territory. The state of the world that we're living in right now. Beneath our feet, that magma, that water. The climate will change from the warm years to ice age. Imagine all that water freezing and drying. Don't deny it now. Let your mind resolve. And then credit nothing but the obvious. I've always had that certain something to prove. I'm quick to temper and I long to cool. Please grant me wisdom in these times of trouble. Help push me forward into new territory. I believe your protests worked so long ago. There exists much fortune and peace and resolution. If we disagree right now, there'll be die loss, and our children will be left holding the bag. Don't deny it now. Let your mind resolve. and then credit nothing but the obvious. Don't deny it now, let your mind resolve, and then credit nothing but the obvious. I've always had that certain something to prove. I'm quick to temper and I long to cool. Please grant me wisdom in these times of trouble. Help push me forward into new territory. I've always had that certain something to prove. I'm quick to temper and I long to cool. Please grant me wisdom in these times of trouble. Help push me forward into new territory.
That is fantastic. Be careful, Chris. You might get poked by a bubble.
Well, I know. You know, the thing is a lot of people don't realize what, you know, engineering went into the Lawrence Welk show, and we see that here, you know.
Well, welcome to the playlist. I'm going to have you, Chris Bacigalupo, introduce the rest of your band, if
Sure.
you will. All
You
Men
bet.
About Town.
Sure. Over here we have David Searing on the trumpet and cornet and other things that are like Latin. We don't know what they are. And then we have Darren Bergsman, kind of songwriter, singer, guitar player, and he doesn't know anything about music, so he has to rely on us for that. Paul Wortman here on the squeak box, I think, and it works best if you swear at it. That's what I understand. And back here is Brian Barber. Doesn't do anything around town. Kind of a schlump, really.
The engineer of the bubbles, though.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you can see where that got us, right? We try.
Okay, you have a fabulous sound, and it's the melding of a lot of influences. So tell me a little bit about how you come up with your sound and where you want to go with it.
Well, we thought it's actually really therapy-based. We try to scare ourselves as much as possible with ideas and then see if we can do them. And actually, we are kind of rooted in the lounge tradition, space age bachelor pad. I think Esquivel is somebody we look up to, and actually Tangier 57 is modeled as, the name is modeled after Sergio Mendes and Brazil 66. We wanted to be ahead of Brazil 66, so we're Tangier 57. Twig 12 didn't really work so well. So, some of the other influences are Lawrence Welk, Pink Floyd, The Clash, and Martin Denny. So we try to keep it in the tight pocket of all music. Yeah.
Excellent. So how did you find these all musicians to kind of buy into that all music tradition?
Yeah, that was the hard part. Actually, it was the easy part because we're all quested individually to come together and be in this band. Each one of us has a bizarre and contrived storyline which draws us together. So.
And so who came up with the sweaters, though? I think they're still
It's
kind of
his fault.
you.
It's his fault.
I'm regretting every...
Actually, well, it is, summer in Duluth, so these are working out great for us right now. And these are, not to patronize someone, but they're local Bemidji woolen mills, and they're modeled after a 1942 sorority letter sweater. And seeing as none of us were around in 1942 or able to join a sorority, this is as close as we can come.
Perfect. Okay, so you're working on a new project.
We're
You got a
done.
new
We're
album
finally.
coming
Matter
out.
of fact, the master is in his car right now. It just got done. Eric Swanson at Sacred Heart finally poured it through his butter boxes, and it's all warmalized now, I guess it's a technical term. We don't know. We just pay him money, and he makes it sound better than we are. And so no, actually, it's our first full-length CD. We have 3 EPs, which are available on our website, tangier57.com. And in mere moments, like when we leave here, we're immediately going to go upload our stuff so people can download and buy it, and then we'll have the CDs done. It's called It Is People, and it's based around a Polynesian tiki influence, kind of leaning towards the tiki part of the lounge tradition.
Okay. And is the whole thing Tiki Lounge?
No. These songs were all off the album, none of which are tiki. The next song we play is kind of the title track of the album called It Is People, and it's based off a Maori proverb. It's actually a sing-along, so for everybody at home and in the studio, you can use those community education Maori lessons that you have, and just follow the bouncing tiki head as we sing in Maori and you sing along. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys
All
for
right.
being here. I know you have one more for me.
Yep.
And there's more information on the playlist website, including an archive of past episodes, our arts calendar, and more. And that's at theplaylistonline.org. It's a great reminder to go out and support live local art. Now, we've got one more song from Tangier 57. Chris set it up for us, and I think they're ready to go.
Ui mai ko kia hau he aha te mea nui o te ao. Ui mai ko kia hau he aha te mea nui o te ao. Hey tangata, hey tangata, hey tangata, hey tangata, hey tangata, hey tangata. Ui mai ko kia hau he aha te mea nui o te ao. Ui mai ko kia hau hea ha te mea nui o te ao. Hey tangata, hey tangata, hey tangata, hey tangata, hey tangata, hey tangata. Ask me what is the greatest thing in the world. I will be born. Ask me what is the greatest thing in the world. I will. It is people. 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 Hey Tangata, hey Tangata, hey Tangata, hey Tangata, hey Tangata, hey Tangata. Ui mai ko kia hau hea ha te mea nui o te ao. Ui mai ko kia hau hea ha te mea nui o te ao. Hey Tangata, hey Tangata, hey Tangata, hey Tangata, hey Tangata, hey Tangata.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and by viewers like you.